Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tales from the Roman Republic, a new channel dedicated to providing knowledge of some of the lesser known episodes of history from the Roman Republican era. I'm your host, Luke, and today we'll be venturing back into the mists of the early Republic to one of Rome's most dangerous crises, the Galaxak of 390 BC, and to one plebeian hero that saved the Vestal Virgins and Rome's most sacred relics. The Galaxak of 390 BC was regarded by Romans of the late Republic and historians such as Livy and Tacitus as being the most catastrophic event to have ever befallen the city. Rome had risen to regional importance only 6 years earlier with the epic conquest of its great rival, the Etruscan city of Veii, after 100 years of warfare, and was yet to even control its local region of Latium for another 52 years. It is in this context of a city on the rise that we can place the Galaxak. The Gauls, an umbrella term for the Celts of modern-day France, had begun to push into the Po Valley, the northern part of the Italian peninsula, in the 5th century BC, gradually conquering Etruscan cities in the area, with one of the last holdouts, Felsina, falling in the mid-4th century BC. Various tribes settled here, such as the Insubres, the Boii, and, most importantly, the Senones, a tribe living on the northeastern coast of Italy around modern Rimini. To summarize Livy's account, a great warband of the Senones, seeking more land to settle, came into conflict with the Etruscan city of Clusium, which promptly appealed for aid to neighboring cities including Rome. Rome responded by sending 3 ambassadors, who, although ostensibly neutral, took matters into their own hands and fought the Senones alongside the men of Clusium. Outraged, the Senones lifted their siege of Clusium and marched straight on Rome, utterly routing the Roman army at the Battle of the Allia, around 10 miles from Rome, and leaving the city defenseless. Upon hearing the news from the few survivors of the battle, the Romans fell into a great panic, realizing the city could not be properly defended. Although the Capitoline Hill was defensible due to its fortress, called the Arx, it was too small to hold the entirety of Rome's inhabitants. The plebs therefore fled the city at once for various neighboring cities, whilst the young patricians and knights prepared themselves on the Capitoline for a siege, and the older patricians waited in their homes for their deaths. In the chaos, the Vestal Virgins and the Fleming Quirinus, one of Rome's most ancient priesthoods, buried whatever sacred objects they could not carry and fled the city on foot. The Vestal Virgins, Rome's most sacred order of priestesses, were responsible for guarding the sacred flame of Vesta in their temple in the Roman Forum, which was never to be extinguished lest the city should perish. Their temple also housed other incredibly sacred objects such as the Palladium, brought from Troy by Aeneas. The fire and the Palladium were 2 of the Pignora Imperii, literally pledges of rule, that guaranteed the future survival of the Roman community. Carrying these objects with them, which must have been no small task, the priestesses set out for the city of Caere, an Etruscan city and Roman ally on the coast. As they left the city via the Janiculum Hill, mingling Rome's most sacred objects with the fleeing plebs, one man, Lucius Albinius, in a great display of piety, decided to help the Vestals, as Livy says, preserving even then the distinction between divine and human. Ordering his wife and children to disembark from the cart, he took up the Vestals and the Pignora Imperii and safely conveyed them to Caere. It's hard to think Albinius's wife and children were too keen on being abandoned on the side of the road, but his deed would forever be immortalized in the Roman imagination as an example of supreme piety, unique amongst the plebs. Valerius Maximus, also lauding the actions of the man he calls Albanius rather than Albinius, in his book of exemplary deeds and sayings, wrote, "And that mean and country cart, all of a sudden the receptacle of so much honour, came to equal, if not surpass, the glory of a triumphal chariot." So greatly regarded was the deed of Lucius Albinius in the late Republic and early Empire, that the Emperor Augustus even included him in his gallery of heroes at the newly built Forum Augustum, completed in 2 BC, commemorating the act in an inscription under Albinius' statue. Albinius was the only non-elite included in the gallery, demonstrating the deep impression he had made upon the Roman psyche and showing that the plebs too could step up when Rome needed them most. The Gauls would eventually be defeated by a Roman army, ironically mustered at Veii, their former rival, under the command of the great hero Marcus Furius Camillus. At least this is the account handed down to us from Livy and other contemporary historians. Aristotle, however, a near contemporary of the events in question, stated that a certain Lucius saved the city. Is this Lucius to be identified with Lucius Albinius? One modern historian, T.J. Cornell, has suggested as much. Meanwhile, the citizens of Caere, for their part, were well rewarded by the Romans with honorary citizenship, whilst maintaining their independence for centuries until their unwise refusal to aid Rome against Hannibal in the Second Punic War. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. It would help me so much if you'd be willing to like, subscribe, and maybe leave a comment for the YouTube algorithm. I'll be back soon with another tale from the Roman Republic. Until then, take care and farewell.